Hello everyone. My name is Danielle Asah Mantho, and I'm the founder and CEO of DiDreams. I'm about to be on the online prosperity show with Prosper. It's such an honor for me to be here today to share about branding, to share about my story of how I got started, my story of how I've been consistent, taking deliberate actions, of how definitely it wasn't easy when I all started off and the naysayers around. I've been able to shut the noise off and, stand out, build a brand that helped me to become who I am today and helping over 300 professionals to build a consistent and strong brands. So it's an honor for me to be here today, and I hope you're gonna enjoy my story, and I initially learned from it on how to build a powerful brand, on understanding that your dream is not just possible, but it's worth pursuing it. Thank you so much for having me on, and and have a wonderful time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Online Prosperity Show. I'm your host, Prosper Taruvinga, and today we have an extraordinary guest who is joining us. Now, Danielle, how are you doing, my love?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay, Prosper. Thank you for having me on.
Fantastic. Well, the pleasure is all mine. For those that are tuning in right now, Danielle is a global branding specialist and the powerhouse behind DiDreams. Now, Danielle is not just any other branding expert. She's actually a visionary who's helped over 300 professionals and businesses across Africa, the UK, and the US to transform their brands into growth engines. And she does this using her signature 5C branding framework that comprises of clarity, consistency, creativity, collaboration, and community. And she is empowering businesses not just to survive, but to thrive in today's landscape. So while we were waiting for us to get started, I just got talking to Danielle, and she told me a thing or two about what it is that she does. She's not just the branding guru that she is today, but her journey began as a business consultant in Cameroon, and she saw firsthand how incredible businesses were struggling to shine simply because they lacked visibility. And she is, here to showcase that this a pivotal realization then set her on a mission to change the game for businesses and individuals alike. So Danielle is here today to share her insights, challenges, and also the lessons learned along the way, because obviously it is a long road to create a business that's actually profitable, visible, and enjoyable. Now, Danielle, I could go on and talk about things that I have no experience about. Tell us a little bit about your story and how you became this branding guru we're speaking to today.
So thank you so much, Prosper, again for having me on. My name is Danielle, and I'm the founder of and the CEO of DiDreams, a branding and marketing agency based in Cameroon. My journey into branding started with a deep passion for initially helping businesses, organizations, and brands and people to realize their full potential by helping them craft an authentic and impactful identities for themselves and for their organization. Growing up in Cameroon, initially I was inspired by the power of stories and the way strong brands could deeply connect with their audience. Initially, I started DiDreams in 2020, and I knew that I wanted to bridge, the gap for Africans professionals, whether Africans or professionals all around the world, and also entrepreneurs and businesses who were struggling, to gain visibility in a very competitive digital landscape that we find ourselves in. So over the years, as you said, I've been able to help and I've been able to develop and refine a unique, framework, which I call it the 5C branding framework. And through this framework, I've been able to transform over 300 brands all over the world. But it has not, to be honest with you, personally, it has never been an easy journey. In the I actually I started the dreams during the pandemic. I had to take the risk, of leaving the corporate world to start my own business. And I faced a lot of challenges, like probably limited resources and skepticism about the importance of branding, especially in Africa, and navigating a highly competitive market in the world. And I remember back then we had so many gurus online, especially on LinkedIn, who were just talking about branding. But however, all these challenges helped me to discover and to see that I needed to train myself more to be able to get to that level where I could help more people resolve the challenges, of making their brands to stand out. And this actually also gave me a first-hand experience, in the power of clarity, consistency, creativity, collaboration, and community, which is my 5C branding framework. So in global, that is it about my story. As I said, today, with AI, digital transformation, technology, and everything evolving, I'm always looking for new ways to serve my clients and people around the world better, to become better, to build powerful brands, and to initially stand out in a way that they could easily connect with their audience, and drive opportunity towards them. So thank you for that wonderful
Absolutely.
question.
Well, the pleasure is all mine. Danielle. Now, you were in corporate before. What exactly were you doing in that space?
Yes, so I was working with a financial technology company, and I was marketing the nationwide sales and digital marketing associate. It's what actually caused me to leave the corporate world to initially start my business was, the environment. I would say it was a very toxic environment because I found myself, I didn't see that I had the possibility to put my full potential at work and to initially serve and serve the company best in the best possible way. But I had to, and it was so hard for me to think about starting my own business at that at that young age, because I remember that was in 2019. I had just graduated from college. I mean, it was 2 years later. And initially, when I thought about starting a business, I thought that I would definitely start a business when I would be in my 40s, when I had already served enough money, But I found myself, and I would say I didn't do it by myself. I did it with the help of a coach. I also had a mentor who helped me, who encouraged me to initially, trust in myself, in my capacity to start a business on my own. And I started by writing a book, which is entitled Becoming Your Dream Self: 7 Keys to Own and Control Your Life as a Millennial. So it was just telling my story to other young millennials around the world that it's possible to become whoever you've always wanted to be if only you put yourself to do it. And no matter the circumstances in which you find yourself at a given moment. So it was also a way to tell people around me, especially in Africa, that your dream is not just possible, but it's worth pursuing it. So, and I would say after 2 years of, or after 4 years of pursuing my dreams since 2020, I don't regret, There are moments, there have been moments of trials, challenges, but it's been a moment of learning for me. It's been a learning curve all through. And I've had the possibility and opportunity to meet people like you and other people who always there to encourage me, and working with a team of young people where, I always encourage them to keep on giving their best in everything they do. So I'll say it's been a learning curve all through, and keep connecting, finding the best possible way to connect with my audience and my clients, and making sure that I'm not just there to make money, but I'm there to serve the people who get to me, or who I get to, who needs my support or our support. So yeah.
Absolutely. Now, Danielle, I mean, obviously, you did mention you had to step away from this role and things of that nature, but indulge me if you can. I mean, obviously, your family and your relatives or your parents would have been so excited that you now have this secure role, which automatically means, all the troubles and worries have been sorted out. And that's just the culture we live in. I'm not sure
Mhm.
if that's sort of the same for you. What was the discussion around the dinner table when you tell them, no, I'm going to leave this and I'm actually going to venture on my own, sitting all day on a computer and talking about five C's?
I'm actually laughing at this question because it's. I remember it was one of the most toughest moments in my life, and I'll say my mom wasn't too sure initially. My mom, she wasn't too sure, but she said, "Okay, whatever you say, I believe in you." But it wasn't welcome by all family members. I remember so many people calling me uncles, aunties, and even classmates. They were like, "What are you doing?" I mean, I was doing some live videos online on Facebook and all the social media platforms. I kept telling them about how you could leverage all these 5Cs frameworks to view your brands and how I could support them. And they were like, "Stop wasting your time. Daniel, you have a master's degree and you just graduated from a renowned school in Cameroon. So you should be looking for a job. You don't need to do this. Get an international job. You know, applied to work with an NGO, and to be honest with you, that job I resigned from wasn't it was a huge job. I was initially a marketing manager. I was a marketing manager, so you can just imagine how much I was earning. But if I wasn't happy, I wasn't feeling fulfilled at that point. So I said, no, I want to do something where I feel happy about it. I'm serving people the more. So I wanted to serve people. I wanted to feel like I'm putting my skills to help more people around me. So, I remember a friend, she called me one day and it really hurt me because at that time, that was my best friend. We graduated from school together. And she told me, you know what, girl, stop this you're doing. Go get a job. It won't help you. All these things, it's not bringing anything to your life. And, I'm that type of person that if when I feel that I'm not understood, or when I feel there are so many naysayers around me, I begin to I shut myself up from them. At that moment I stopped telling them anything about my business or anything about me. And whatever they say, because I knew exactly what I wanted. It's not something I just got to want money and say, okay, I want to set up a business on my own. No. I thought about it initially and I prayed about it for 2 weeks until I was sure within me that this is what I wanted to do. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. But I said, no, this is what I want and I'm going to do it. So the discouragement, the naysaying, they were there. And that's what prosper. After 2 years of consistently showing up and having people who believed in me. And to be honest, when I started off, nobody around me believed in me. There were only people I didn't know reaching out to me for my services. They were encouraging me and saying, Danielle, I like what you're doing. I like this, I like this. And that's my friend who called me and was discouraging me after 2 years, reached out to me and told me, Danielle, I like what you're doing. She initially forgot what she said. I like what you're doing. Can you just teach me how to? I can go online and do this. I have this business. I want to start. Can you just? And she forgot, but I couldn't remind her. And at that moment, I said to myself, it pays. It's not just your dreams are not just important, but it is worth it because if you believe in your dreams and you pursue it and you're consistent, you're deliberate about your action, definitely people will begin to believe in you and trust in you. So that's how I started getting people following me and say, Daniel, I like this. And all my family members who stood against me, they said, wow, you're doing good. Every day, don't stop encouraging me, like, keep going, Dale, you're doing so.
Well, congratulations for having defeated all these odds because I can seriously see all of that happening and people not understanding what it is that you're doing. And, now they are now afraid you're going to be a burden, obviously asking for resources and things in order for you to keep yourself afloat. Now, talking of resources and, obviously the learning curve that would have then happened to transition yourself from, the employee to now the entrepreneur. Walk us through, that. How did you manage to get the resources or even understand what you needed to become? Because this is a journey where you need to become a certain type of person in order for you to be able to then serve as you wanted to do.
Yeah, so when I started off, I had nothing. The only thing I had at that moment, I remember that was in 2020 when the pandemic hit, and
Yes.
at a point in time, we had to stay home. So when I started, um, I, I had just my laptop with me. I had just my laptop, and I remember, I don't even know, maybe I bought that laptop. It was a second-hand laptop. I don't know if you get that, like used laptop. Yeah, and I bought the laptop at that point. I remember $200, and it was not. I still have the laptop though, but it's somewhere. I don't use it anymore.
You
So
should, Danielle, you should keep it and frame it because one day when you're rich and famous, that will be a collector's item.
exactly. So I had just my laptop and my internet connection, and I was sitting at the comfort of my home, and I would sit like I would wake up in the morning and I would have my breakfast, and I would sit in front of my laptop. Sometimes I had to work from morning to 10 p.m. And I really worked so hard. I was just sitting in front of my laptop, and I started writing my story. I took so many courses because despite the fact that I had a master's degree, at that stage I didn't have much experience. So I had to first train myself more and learn from others. So I began to look at other people over the internet, what they are doing, people I aspire to become like them. And I would see what they are doing, the type of content they are posting. Yeah, I'll listen to their stories and I'll read their books, all that because I wanted to find out what is their secret and what is the best possible way I could help people around me. So I invested a little bit of money in the most I invested in was the online courses. I took so many courses on Udemy, Coursera, and many other online platforms. So I had certifications and so on. And then I joined some of the coaching and the mentorship programs of people I aspire to become like them. And I invested, but the investment was not all at once because I initially had someone or two clients who believed or trusted in me, and they said, okay, let's do this. And that's when I started doing, and the little money I had, I invested in the online classes, and with time, I had now to set a whole. After 1 year, I've grown really to a certain stage. I said, oh, now is the time to get a team together and see how I could also train them with the experience I had, so that we could build something, far bigger than this. So initially, I started with just my laptop on the internet, if I had to say that. And after I invested in a coach, online classes, and so on. So I would encourage anybody who wants to get started. It shouldn't be limited by the resources. Start with what you have, because from my story, I understood that if you have the will and the passion, you don't need so much. You start from somewhere, and there were also people who actually saw my effort, and they tried. I remember one of my mentors. He bought several online courses for me because he saw I was trying so hard to achieve something there. So it wasn't all by myself, but because I started something, and he said, okay, let me give her a helping hand. So initially, that was how it got started. And today, I keep on learning and upskilling, because I know things are fast changing. And if I want to serve my clients in the best possible way, I need to be up to the task, in terms of my expertise and the skills. Yeah, I need to keep learning and doing different things that could help them to achieve the results, the expected results. So thank you for that question.
No, now, Danielle, you know what I really like about that is, we were comparing notes and I was saying, had I started at the time, had we had the resources that are now available, in this day and age, I don't know how far I would have been. But yeah, I'm that typical African that just didn't know how to, make sense of the world. But you're right now about the learning and the investment in yourself. And for those that can watch, you can see behind me, I've just went on and on reading and learning, and even not necessarily listening to contemporary people, but actually going back to the people that started doing this when they were doing it door to door. Because these days with the internet, it's very, very easy. If you ask me, if you have to go and knock on somebody's door and tell them that you're selling a product, and then have them shut the door, and then you go to the next door, that will be difficult for a lot of people. So those are some of the people that I
Exactly.
learned from, and they teach you how to win friends and influence people, and how to actually connect with people, and things of that nature. Now, you
Yeah.
went on, obviously, you invested in yourself and also invested in research and development up until you came up with your 5 C's framework. I love that, by the way, because it's just like, the fingers of your hand. Tell us how
Thank you.
that came about, first of all. And yeah, if you can just break it down for us so that we have
Oh,
an understanding of how a business can stand out using your process.
okay. So how it all started was, initially, I when I started having people coming to me like, Danielle, I want you to coach me. I want you to help me. I want to do exactly what you're doing with my brand. And I said, okay, this is how I do it. Like, I was actually looking at the framework. I tried to look at a very simple way I could teach them, something you could, do by themselves, easily, easy to memorize, a step by step. I was trying to put a step by step process in which they could follow in order to build successful or create strong and memorable brands that stand out and drive growth. And thinking about it, I was like, what can I do? And the first thing was, I already knew the first thing. Whenever you want to build a brand, you need to start with beginning. You need to be clear about who you are, what you do, who are your audience, what you want to be known for. So I said, okay, clarity is the first thing. So and my goal at this stage was helping them to identify their purpose, their audience, and their unique value. So I thought about clarity, and I said, okay, whenever you get all that set, you need to be consistent, because even with my journey, it's I've been I've been able to achieve all this because of being consistent all through since 2020. I said, okay. One thing I taught them was being consistent, and here it's about establishing a unified brand voice and image across all social or all platforms, where online platform or on-site, or point of sales. And so you need to be consistent with your, whether your brand message, whether your colors, your identity, whether it's about consistent actions, or, kind of like if you are posting online, let's say you post 3 times a week at a certain time, let's say every day at 1 p.m. You should be consistent with that, because your online followers are there and they like people who are consistent. For example, for the online prosperity show, definitely you're consistent. So and being consistent make you to people to trust you, because Zig Ziglar is a popular American author. He said, when people trust you, when people love you, they will follow you. When they trust you, they will do business with you. So when you are consistent, you move from being loved to being trusted, because if they see you consistently showing up, and they will definitely feel like, okay, this person is, or this person business is, they are serious with their work. So this is someone we could work with. So teaching them to be consistent. And I say, whatever you do, you need to be creative. So, which is why I thought about creativity, which is designing innovative strategies and capturing the attention. Creative, I say, when you think about creativity, you need to be disruptive. It's about being unique. In being unique here, you need to be disruptive. You just don't want to be another online show. You want what makes you to stand out, what makes you to be unique. So you need to be disruptive, you need to be deliberate, and you need to be distinctive. So I thought about creativity. You work on making you to be unique, to be distinctive. And I thought about collaboration, and that's one thing many people don't do when they are into business. They don't think about collaborating. How could we put in our effort to make sure we reach a larger or a huge audience? So it's about encouraging partnership and connecting to amplify their reach. So I teach them how they could collaborate with other brands, or other brands, or let's say even competitors, how you can collaborate with other organizations or other people doing similar things, or things who could complementary things, how we could collaborate to reach a larger audience or achieve a bigger attain a bigger goal. So, and then the last thing here was, and at the level of collaboration, one thing I have to emphasize is we look at different, whether if it's a personal brand, different people who are doing similar or complementary things, we could collaborate with them. And then if it's an organization, we look at similar organization offering complementary things, we could collaborate them to grow the reach. So, and the last C is a community. Whatever you're doing, you need to build a community, like building a loyal audience, and this audience will resonate with your brand deeply. So we have to build a following. It could be even family members, it could be friends, it could be clients, it could be people who are interested about topics around whatever you're trying to communicate. So this is, if I could say, this is a brief summary of the 5C branding framework, and it is like clarity. It all starts from there. So clarity, consistency, creativity, collaboration, and community. It starts from everything. Whatever you do, you need to be crystal clear about what you want to be known for. who you are, what you do, your target audience, and what you want to be known for. So initially, that is how I came out with the 5C um, framework. And as an example, I would say I recently worked with a local company in Cameroon, and it was the goal here was to rebrand their product for a national launch. So a detergent brand. So we had to, through a mix of TV commercials, billboard campaign, and digital strategy. So what we did here, we increased their visibility by 150%. So we all started by being clear about what they want to offer to their audience, helping them in the best possible way to connect with their audience. And we use branding to connect with their clients and so on. We also work with organizations, multinational organizations, where we use branding to connect their donors with their initiatives initially, and then and the successes remind me at this stage of why I love what I do, seeing tangible results, and that effectively brings initially it's effectively define what branding is all about. Effectively branding strategies, which helps people achieve the result which they want, helping them to connect with their target audience. So yeah, that is it about the 5C branding framework. And I'm writing a book on that, how they could build a powerful and unstoppable brand in the digital age with the 5C framework.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for taking us through that, because with clarity, consistency, creativity, community, and collaboration, which is what we're doing today, so many people, like you said, really forgo all of this. They're not quite clear who their target audience is. They are not consistent enough to reach to them, because apparently people take about 13 to 18 touch points, and I think it's even more these days for somebody to actually have a grasp of what your brand is all about. So if you're not consistent enough, then they're only just going to wait until you're ready. Now, in all of this, one has to be authentic, because when you mentioned Zig Ziglar, that if people sort of know of you, they'll do business with you. But if they love you, yes, that statement there.
Yeah. So if people love you,
yeah,
they will follow you.
Yes.
If they trust you, they will do business.
They'll do business with you. So people do business with those they know, like, and trust. In order for you to be trusted, there has to be an element of authenticity. Now, with the advent of technology and AI and everything else that has come along, authenticity has become such a big problem for people, because some of the stuff that they're putting out there is not exactly theirs. How do you help people mitigate that, or how do you actually help them use that to their advantage?
Okay, so one thing I have to precise is what makes actually my approach or the 5C framework to stand apart is the focus on practical, result-driven solution. And authenticity here, it's about building a brand that not only showcase your expertise, but your values. You want to show yourself in, an authentic way, original way, as you are, without trying to build, make stories up around it. That people can smell from afar when something is not authentic. So if you're not authentic, you might not easily attract the right people. So building a brand around authenticity helps you to definitely connect easily with your target audience, and they would know it, they see it, they feel it, that you're authentic, you're putting yourself out there, and it's easy for you to grow your brand consistently with time, maintaining the same voice, the same message. But when it's not authentic, there are moments where, it's there's a misalignment at a certain stage. So it's about putting out, building a brand, putting the values. What are your values? At that stage of clarity, is about identifying your values and building a brand that definitely shows or showcases your value and puts you in an authentic, doing it in an authentic way, original way, without actually trying to be another person. Because if you try to be or copy other people around the world, you might end up not connecting with those who initially need your services or those who you can serve in the best possible way. So I say, be authentic, put yourself there. Sometimes I did I did some mistakes, but it's been a learning curve for me. There have been moments where I posted something and someone came and said, "No, you would have said this, and that." So you have to be open. Some people are scared because they are afraid that people will judge them and they might end up not really losing some clients or not getting what they want. But I'll tell you, whatever you're branding yourself, the goal here is to attract those who initially need your help or your support. And the best way to do is just be authentic, put yourself as you are, and definitely the right people will come on board.
I quite like that because, yeah, sometimes you might tell a story and then tomorrow it's not exactly how you told it before because the internet does not forget. Have you noticed some people when they then rise to power, they're now saying certain things just to fulfill the position they're in, and people are like, but you remember in 2020, this is what you posted, you tweeted this.
Exactly, exactly. Oh, and,
Absolutely.
and they are very fast at. I mean, they don't forget things. They are very fast at picking what is not going right. So they always
Mm.
remind you, just be vulnerable and be authentic, and the right people will come.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I mean, obviously, you've grown within your business in the last 4 years. Congratulations. I don't know if you would understand. Statistics say that a lot of businesses don't go past the 3 year mark. But now you are celebrating year one of not being a statistic. So, congratulations. It's quite exciting
Thank
to
you.
see all of that happening. How has your understanding of personal branding evolved sort of over the years, and how are you integrating this into the work that you're doing with your clients? Because we have established that you obviously are now learning, you're coming across all these new technologies, but also using your own authentic framework, and you're mixing all of this now, delivering it into a package that customers can actually use.
Yeah, so thank you for that great question because it all started there in 2020. I had to understand that for me to become whatever I wanted to be, what I was trying to make the world remember me for, or what I wanted to be known for, I needed to build a brand, a personal brand around it, which was initially branding, marketing. I needed to build a brand around it. And that's why I started off in 2020. I said to myself, I need to work on my message. I need to work on my voice. What is the story I want to tell the world about me? What is one thing I want the world to know me for? And I started working around it. I started working around it. So I would say personal branding is not just like it isn't just about having a nice logo or catchy slogan. It's about building meaningful connection and delivering measurable outcomes. And personal branding, I would say it's you start from with the framework clarity. You need to know who you are, deep from out inside. Who are you? And how do people see you? What are your expertise? What are your strengths? What are your values? And you walk around it. You pull out something, you put it to the wall. and you start working it. It wasn't easy for people to start identifying me as maybe a branding specialist. I need to consistently come on shows like this one, consistently talk about it, go to events, seminars, conferences where I talk about it. So personal, and then personal branding is very important for anybody who wants to build consistent or wants to build um, um, a durable brand or a strong brand, powerful brand. You need to work on your personal brand. And initially, what people don't know is that whenever you get to someone, whether a client or you're applying for, an opportunity, partnership or collaboration opportunity, what the first thing people do is they go online and Google your name, who is who is Prosper. They'll go and Google your name, and initially the first thing that always pop up is it could be your LinkedIn profile, it could be your personal website, and all that. You'll take the time to read. So what I'm trying to say here is whenever you're building your personal brand, the first thing to do is you need to work on the narrative. What is written online about you, you work on it because that's what people see. Whatever you do, I remember one day I was in a workshop and we had over 100 university students from first degree to master's degree level. And I asked them who here have ever Googled his name. And I had just one person who have done that. So I asked them to do it. And they were really surprised at what they saw online about themselves. So, and I told them, whatever you see online is the same thing other people see about you. So if you like it, do you like it? If you don't like it, then definitely you need to change the narrative. So we have the possibility to change all what is written about us. So it starts from your online information, whether it's on your social media platforms or any other platform. You can change. You can optimize your LinkedIn profile, Facebook, and other social media profile to tell exactly what you want to be known for. And then initially it's about the actions you take daily to work on every narrative about you, things around you, what you want to be known for. So that is personal branding. Personal branding is not a one-time thing. It's consistent action you need to take around a particular topic. And with time, people start recognizing you for that thing you're trying to put out there. So personal branding starts with you getting clarity about who you are, what you want to be known for, who are your target audience, and you start creating stories around it. And people will easily, you tell the stories, you can use different styles, but you need to have a unique voice to tell your story. And some people, the right people, will connect with that story you're telling about yourself. So that is it about, for me, that is it about personal branding. Yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you. Now, for those that are sort of looking to enhance their business using branding as a strategy, what would be the best way they can get a hold of you there, Danielle?
Okay. So, as you said, I also, whether personal or corporate branding, because in the past, we've worked with um, whether individuals who wants to build top leadership, who wants to be identified as top leaders around maybe let's say digital transformation, technology, whatever. So they reach out to me and they're like, how could that be possible? And so they could reach out to me on LinkedIn or Facebook or other social media platforms, preferably on LinkedIn because I'm also very active on LinkedIn. So apart from personal branding, we've had the opportunity to work with also organizations, whether businesses, those whether value-based, service-based businesses or products or other companies. We've also had the opportunity to work with organizations, international organizations who are trying to share information about what they do to attract the right audience, maybe donors or opportunities for support or sponsorship opportunities or win some grants. So it's about we help them to craft stories about what they do, to share their activities or share information about the different initiatives, what they are doing to tell the world about who they are, what they do, and to attract the right opportunities toward them. So we have personal brand, and also we have professionals, individuals, we also have businesses and organizations to build their brands to make sure they attract the right opportunities toward them. So for anybody who wants to either be his brands or build his company's brands or organization's brand, they could reach out to me on LinkedIn, and then we see how to get started. Also, coach and mentor people on how they could do that on their self. I mean, they could do that by themselves. So yeah, it's such an opportunity, to serve people. Because for me, it's not just about making money, as I said. It's about leveraging what I've been able to learn so far, my skills, my gifts, and my talents, and also my expertise to serve them and to help them achieve their full potential. Yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you so much. I will definitely put all those links in the show notes so that people can reach out to you and maybe get started on the journey with you. Now, I can't thank you enough. I mean, for the time that we spent on the call today. I mean, your 5 C's framework literally helps me understand it by just grasping onto maybe your hand, using your fingers like that. And I can't wait to see what you're going to be creating with it. But Danielle, it will be remiss for me to not ask. I mean, you presented to us the young version of you during the pandemic starting, and you didn't even know what to do. All you had was a laptop and a hope and a dream. Now, looking back to that, Danielle, what sort of advice would you give to her if she came across a video like this and is looking to be, educated or motivated or inspired?
Mhm. Okay, what I would say first to a young me or any other person who is aspiring to do exactly what I'm doing, I would say, uh, like I say, your dreams are not just possible, but it's worth pursuing it. Uh, don't give up, because you can make it. And if you need, just all what you need to do is to believe in yourself, because there will always be naysayers and people who try to discourage you, and but you need to be strong. Like I had all the reasons on earth to give up, because everybody was trying to discourage me. Like, no, you should do this, you should do that. People always have. People always feel like they know what is best for you, but you only know what is best for you, and you only know what makes you feel happy and fulfilled. So you need to pursue it, because not long than now, people will start congratulating you and say, "Oh, I want to be like you." The same people who came to you and they were discouraging you, all the naysayers, they'll be like, "Why? I like what you do. That's amazing. I really want to learn. Can you teach me how to do this or that?" Because that's exactly what happened to me. And yeah, so that's it for the younger people. And for brands, those who want to build their brand, if there's any one thing I want your audience to take away, is that branding is a powerful tool for transformation first. And when whether you're an entrepreneur or you're setting something and you're looking to scale your business, or professional trying to stand out, or let's say company seeking to connect with your audience, I can say branding is an open door to incredible opportunities. And the first thing you need to do is always start with clarity. What's your purpose? What's who do you want to serve? You then be consistent, stay creative, and then build a community of people around your brand. And that's the secret. That's the secret to long-term success. And well, I'm here to help you to achieve that. So thank you so much, Prosper. for having me on. It was such an honor to come here to share about myself and what I do and find the best possible way to serve people as I always do. Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, Danielle, from what you have taught us today, the 5 C's, I think this will change a lot of businesses and people that are on their own journey, towards creating a business that's profitable and enjoyable. I mean, if you would look at maybe an analogy of driving a car, the car has a big windscreen so you can see further, and a very small window for you to see behind. Can you imagine if the one for you to see behind was bigger than the one for you to see further? That's why clarity is important, and consistency is, if you don't step on the gas pedal, the car stops, and it does not create the momentum that is needed within that car. And then creativity, obviously, when you're driving, you need to go through corners, turn around, reverse, and everything else. All of that is creativity. And collaboration is, you are putting the indicator on, telling the people you're going to be indicating, because if you just merge in the driving, guess what's gonna happen? Nothing is gonna happen. And then community, obviously, when you're driving, those that are going that way are going that way. Those that are coming that way, they're coming that way. So if you're
I'm
did
so
I
amazed.
manage to nail your 5 C's in an analogy there?
I think I should use that next time as you know, powerful.
Fantastic. Well, now tell us what's next now for DiDreams. What can we expect? I mean, the first 4 years have already been splendid. I can't wait to see what's any upcoming initiatives. I know you said you're writing a book, so that means you're gonna have to come back on the Online Prosperity Show to launch this book with us again, right?
Exactly. So what's next? There's a book. It's titled The 5C Framework. Be build an unstoppable brand in the digital age. So initially there I'll try to share about um, how to leverage the 5C framework to build a powerful brand. Some of our point some examples of how I've used it to help other brands and organizations to grow. So we have that next. And well, for DiDreams, initially setting up, we are consistently building a powerful team so we can serve as many people as possible. I also have a coaching program which is coming because it's true I've been coaching, but I've not, it's one-on-one, but I've recently I've had so many people coming to me like, oh, when are you starting this coaching program? I want to be in. I have so many people. So I feel like it's a little bit challenging to get everyone one-on-one. So I'm thinking of, I've started, working on setting up a group coaching where I serve as many people as possible, especially those who are still in the startup phase, you know, how they could build a strong and a powerful brand, for and grow consistently. And so we have that next. What I also promised to my audience is we'll be having so many great tips coming on how they could build a strong brand. And well, I'm always open for collaboration as one of the C's. So I'm looking to collaborate with other other companies or other brands, similar or complementary brands who wants to reach a wider audience. So I'm open for collaboration and consistently I'm growing my community. I have a group of people who are interested about topics around branding, marketing, and other online management or activities on how they grow faster, reach their audience in the best possible way. So yeah, so that's what
Absolutely.
I'm doing right now. That's what is next. Yes.
Absolutely. It does look like a full deck of cards right there of all the activities that you're going to be doing. But I can't thank you enough for the time that we've spent on the show today. And yeah, I just can't wait to see, your brand flourishing, because obviously you're already consistent with everything else that you're doing. So thank you so much, Danielle.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine. Thanks for having me on the Online Prosperity Show. And I hope, as you said, I hope I'll be coming very soon here to talk about my book. Maybe
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna
early next year. Yeah.
don't worry. We will find you. We'll reach
Mm.
out. But for those that are watching, there you have it. What an inspiring conversation with the incredible Danielle there, from her humble beginnings in Cameroon to building a global branding powerhouse. And I think Danielle's journey just really reminds us that resilience, clarity, and authenticity are the cornerstones of a success. And bonus, if you can actually drive a car, then you know what branding is all about. Now, if Danielle's story actually resonated with you, I'm encouraging you to not keep it to yourself. I want you to share this episode, with someone who could use their insights to transform their brand or reignite their entrepreneurial spark. And I want you to always remember that the Online Prosperity Show is bringing you to here, is here to bring you more stories that inspire and empower. So be sure to check out the links that are in the show notes so you can connect with Danielle. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss an episode. And as always, I'll see you the next time on your journey to prosperity. Bye for now.